Hey guys, a couple of things that I wanted to do before I started this next video. Just real quick. One thing is that I realized as I started to do the homework I said to do in the last homework video, which was the handouts and the FTC practice. And I realized that we really need to do the notes for class notes 6.6 first and probably the notes for 6.7. So I did some changes to the planner. So make sure you're checking the planner to see what the updates are. It should be okay because I'm videoing this on Thursday, and this is for next week's videos. So hopefully you'll catch this before you start getting into those homework assignments. I did want them, I think you need a few extra notes and information on some of the properties before you do them. I think that would make that easier. It wouldn't be so bad if we were in a classroom and we were working together on them, where you could discover things as we go, but we don't really have people to work with right now, so the discovery is a little bit out. The second thing I did want to talk about too, a couple people have been emailing me, especially those of you who are out for the Phoenix trip. When you want to print notes, so if you don't have copies of the notes because you weren't here on the last day, what you're going to do is if you go up to where the little icon is up here and you right click it, then what you can do is click Save As, and you can save this PDF to your computer. Then when you print the PDF, it will not have my writing on it because I have the keys up here. So you want to do that in order to print, not coming up here. Like if you come up here and you choose this print, that print will print the actual page that you see, which will be the notes with the writing on it. But if you want a clean document, like if you can't find something or you've mislaid it or you weren't here that day, right click here and then go to Save As and then print the file that you download to your computer. So just thought I would throw that out there before I get into this next set of notes. So I think I'm going to stop this video here because I want to kind of keep this as an announcement video. Also, just as a reminder, we are going to have Zoom kind of getting together, answer question kind of things. I think I'm going to reserve that for Fridays. So I have the first one this Friday on the 20th with each of the classes for a little just touch base to kind of catch up with you guys and see what questions you have. I think I'm going to do the same thing for next week as well. I'm going to go ahead and do the videos at the beginning of the week. Then we'll push the kind of the work toward the end of the week. And I'll be available on Friday to kind of touch base with you guys and see what questions that you have. All right, I'm going to end this video and we'll jump into some properties of definite integrals, and then we'll get into the second part of the fundamental theorem after that. And then you'll have the rest of the week to kind of practice with this fundamental theorem. The good thing about Unit 6 is it is going to take me these 3 weeks to probably finish. So we'll have part 1 was the accumulation function and everything with that, Riemann sums and approximations, and so that was week 1. Week 2 is what the fundamental theorem is and a lot of practice with that. Week 3 is going to be techniques of integration, which is kind of like the rules of derivatives. We're going to do the rules of integration and working on some practice with that using U substitution, which is working backwards from the chain rule. And I'm probably going to try to get into Unit 7 when we hit this third week, so before spring break, that last week before spring break. I am going to go ahead and try to start Unit 7, which should be a pretty short, probably a 1 week on Unit 7 set of videos for that. That's a fairly short one. And then we have one more unit, which is Unit 8, which should take about a week as well. And so that would finish up our topics. I'm going to start putting up some practice things for you as well, some resources where you can start prepping for the AP test. So that way you can kind of fit time in. I'll put up a practice test. I can't use any of the secure ones, obviously, because you guys are at home, but I will put up the released one. The answers are out there, but that's kind of not the point. I'm going to put it up there as a practice run for you. It'll have all of the components of an actual AP test. You can spend one day and practice it, and the keys, I'll have the key in there as well so that you can try to check your answers and see how you did. Kind of give you a scoring rubric. You can grade it, see whether you got a 5 or not, or a 4, kind of where you're at. I am also going to start putting up different resources. I have some different handouts. One's called A Path to a 5, which has different practice problems that you're going to work to go through the main topics. I will put up definitely some summary things here at the end to kind of help you. I do have some access to some videos of some other teachers where they've gone through the different types of FRQs that you might see and some things to think about. So I'm going to start putting those up as well, probably next week, so that you can start getting ready, and we'll see when the AP College Board decides on what their decision is. We definitely have an opportunity to possibly push it to the late May to take the test, which is something that we're going to look at. Um, it may be some other things that might happen with that. So we're kind of in a holding pattern for that. So I wouldn't really stress about it. We're just going to keep pushing forward and get through as much material as we can so that we have all the topics done, and then we can start the practice while they're figuring out when we're going to take the AP and how we're going to handle that. All right, so hopefully that addresses any questions and kind of a little overview here. I'm going to stop this video. I'll upload it. I'll insert that into the OneNote. But again, remember, if you do want to print, make sure you go to the right click and you do the Save As. All right, I will see you guys here back well, I'm going to be in like 5 minutes after I upload this video to do the class notes for 6.6, which is going to talk about the properties. And then I'm going to go ahead and go straight into 6.7 as well, which is going to talk about the second part of the fundamental theorem. I do think I also need to insert one more video in that I don't think I included in the notes. It's kind of as I am working through this with you. There's a few kind of side little concepts that I want to go back and hit before we leave the fundamental theorem, just to make sure that I've covered all the bases that I need to for that. Shoot me any questions. Like I said, I'll see you guys on Friday for questions live on the Zoom. We'll see how that works. Working on getting that set up today as well. So hopefully I can see your smiling faces in your houses. Like you can see me. I was like, I turned on the video. I don't know if that's distracting. Maybe you guys can let me know on Friday whether you like seeing me in the corner or whether you want to just hide me so that you don't have to see me and just listen to me as I talk, whether you find it distracting or not. So let me know and get ready for properties next.